Hey everyone, it's Jenny. I've got some exciting news to share with you about our beloved Choi Hyun-wook, who plays Suho in Weak Hero. So remember how I'm always saying I wish we could get more behind-the-scenes content about the show? Well, the universe totally delivered. The Muju Film Festival 2025 is happening right now in this charming Korean city called Muju from June 6th to 8th. And guess what? Choi Hyun-wook was invited as a special guest to meet fans and have this incredibly in-depth conversation about Weak Hero behind-the-scenes moments. But wait, it gets even better. The festival also published this book called Next Actor, and Hyun-wook was chosen as the 7th featured actor. The book includes his honest, heartfelt interview, plus so many filming details that yes, Weak Hero fans have been dying to know about. I'm really excited to share these stories with you in today's audio. You're going to be so happy to learn about this stuff. All right, let me start with the highlights of what Hyun-wook revealed about Weak Hero at the festival. Remember that absolutely heartbreaking scene in episode 7 where Suho visits Si-eun's house after his best friend gets injured? You know the one. Si-eun comes to the door trying to hide his bandaged arm, and Suho looks at him with such pain in his eyes before saying, "Will you come to school tomorrow? It's finals. See you tomorrow." We all totally caught those tears welling up in Suho's eyes, right? Well, Hyun-wook shared how the actor felt during this sequence. Apparently both he and Park Ji-hoon actually started crying during that doorway sequence where they're standing there checking on each other. And here's the crazy part. Director Yoo Soo-min suddenly rushed over and was like, "You guys can't cry in this scene." It was this totally unexpected moment because the direction didn't call for tears at all. The reason both actors ended up crying, even though it wasn't in the script, was because they'd become so deeply connected to these two friends' deep storyline. All that character development had been building up, and they were just completely emotionally immersed in their friendship. Isn't that just beautiful? Now let me share some more specific details from Hyun-wook's interview in the Next Actor book. When Si-eun comes out hiding his bandaged arm, holding back his devastating emotions, Suho asked gently,
잘 살았냐?
not, "Why didn't you come to school?" Or, "Why didn't you answer my calls?" Just this simple, very Suho-like, "How's it going?" I personally always loved that line because it's a boy trying to hide his emotions. Well, Hyun-wook revealed some heart-stirring background about that dialogue. According to the script directions, there was absolutely no mention of tears anywhere, and the parts where both actors cried were actually cut from the final version. About those unexpected tears, the actor explained, "More than anything, these boys are still high school students. They act tough and pretend to be adults, but their identities aren't fully formed yet, and they probably don't even understand what emotions they're feeling." Okay, director Yoo Soo-min shared this incredible story about the connection between Season 1 and Season 2. Remember in Class 2 when a boy who had been in a coma for 1 year and 9 months wakes up and sitting in his wheelchair sees his best friend running toward him? Remember that short line he says first? Here's the amazing part. The script originally said, "How have you been?" But this actor actually changed it to,
잘 살았냐?
during filming. The director only discovered this when editing. It turns out this actor deliberately used the same phrase from that heartbreaking Season 1 scene when Suho looked at Si-eun's injured arm. He made that conscious connection himself and changed the dialogue to create that emotional callback. But wait, there's more. Director Yoo also mentioned that in the wheelchair scene, there was originally a line where Suho asks about the friends behind Si-eun. "Who are those people behind you?" But Choi Hyun-wook felt uncomfortable with that line because, as he put it, Suho's eyes would only be seeing Si-eun. The director speculated that maybe Hyun-wook wanted to cut that line because it would be too difficult to suddenly shift his gaze away from Si-eun to look at other people. And get this, the original script had Suho saying, "You have grown up, even made friends," but on set, Hyun-wook improvised it to just, "That's good to see." The director absolutely loved that ad-lib. Honestly, I think "That's good to see" is so much more Suho than the longer, more explicit line. It really shows how deeply Hyun-wook understands his character, don't you think? Let me tell you about some other behind-the-scenes moments. Director Yoo shared in Next Actor. Remember that Han River scene where Suho teaches Si-eun fighting techniques and playfully taps his cheeks while holding his arms? That was completely improvised on set. It wasn't in the original direction at all. And that iconic scene outside Daesung Academy where Suho calls out, "Siyun-si," and then puts the helmet on the boy's head. After putting the helmet on, Suho looks at Siyun and says, "Cute." Well, apparently when they were filming that moment, creative director Han Jun-hee was watching and suddenly said, "What is this? A romance?" So director Yoo jokingly replied, "This is a romance." I mean, can you blame them? That scene was adorable. All right, now let me share some of Choi Hyun-wook's personal thoughts about playing Suho that really touched my heart. He admitted that before taking on the role, he honestly wasn't sure if he could pull off playing someone so cool and admirable. The Suho in the script felt like someone he could only look up to and admire from afar. He also revealed that filming was incredibly emotionally draining. He'd use up all his energy on set and then go home and cry alone sometimes, wondering if he was doing it right, if he was portraying the character well. Even though he was working so hard, he'd still feel waves of worry when he was by himself. What really resonates with me is how he wanted to express that Suho might appear bright and confident on the surface, but he's actually quite lonely inside. Remember that soup scene where Suho jokingly tells Seon his kindness makes him feel, "It feels gross"? Hyun-wook explained that the lonely Suho really felt Seon's heart in that moment, and seeing his friend smile for the first time was incredibly meaningful to him. He also said that Weak Hero became such a precious project for him personally. You can really feel how much this role meant to him and how much love he put into understanding Suho's character. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Have a nice day, everyone!